Wild Force. Wild Force. Wild Force access. Okay, Kelvin, go on and get up. I couldn't find a good instrumental, so I'm not singing the whole theme. Whatever, it's good enough.
I'm Caleb.
No, I'm Daniel.
And this is WolfpackATTACK. What number is it?
This Mighty-Morph-a-Thon 13.
Alright, I will be reading Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, I'll be reading, I already said it.
He doesn't have to flop. Anyway, this is a review of Power Rangers Wild Force. So in this season, it starts out with this guy named Cole, who's been raised by like monkeys. He's like a Tarzan guy. And in it, he goes to the city because he's like, you know what? I need to go find out about my parents and what's the deal with them. Like, why don't I know them? So he goes out into the world to find them. So he goes to this city called like Turtle Cove, and there he actually meets up with the other Power Rangers Wild Force. And he's like, oh, hey, you guys are really cool. You guys are like superheroes. So he ends up meeting them. Which we have, again, like I said, Cole, he's the Red Ranger. It's weird that, like, there's these 4 Power Rangers. Like, they don't even have a Red Ranger. Like, they've just been fighting without one. That's weird. But, so, yeah, you have Cole. He's the Red Ranger. He's pretty cool. He was one of my favorites because he had, like, a lot of mystery behind him. You kind of, like, see that mystery unfold as you keep watching. Then you got Taylor, who's the Yellow Ranger. She actually was the leader. She was like the first Ranger who became a Wild Force Ranger. And she's a pretty good character. Then you got Max, who's kind of like he's the Blue Ranger, and he's just kind of like the uplifting guy who tells all the jokes. Yuck. And also, so the Red Ranger has the Lion Zord. Yellow has, like, I think it's the Falcon Zord. Blue has the Shark Zord, because you see, like, in this season the Zords are animals and they actually interact with them and stuff. And I think that's a pretty cool aspect. This is also the first season that does CGI, which I don't really like their CGI, and I like it better when it's like people in costumes or just like toys or something, but, you know, whatever. So, and then you got Danny, who's the Black Ranger. I haven't seen a Black Ranger in a while. And he's like the bull, I think, and he's like the big, like, strong, silent type, and he's like, yeah, he's like the strongest of them. Then you got Alyssa, who's the White Ranger. So it's pretty cool. We haven't seen a White Ranger in a while, and she's like a college student, and like you see her like go to school and stuff, which is weird. And this season has like a narrator, which is also kind of weird. And so they live on like this island called Animaria, where they get all their Zords. And in this season, the bad guy's name is like General Org, and he's like this guy who's like made out of plants. I think he's just like a person, but I think he's like a guy made out of plants. And his goal, we actually learn later, he was actually friends with Cole's parents. And, like, he was a friend. He was very resentful of them for becoming famous. I guess it's kind of a spoiler, but anyway. So, I'm getting into spoiler territory now. So, I highly recommend this season. It's got a very good story. Characters are very cool. And, yeah, I mean, I rated it, you can't see it, but here's Netflix on the TV, I rated it 5 stars. It's all on Netflix, so again, if I recommend it, you should watch it if you want. Yeah, if you got Netflix. You might not, I don't know, you should probably get Netflix, it's pretty great. So, yeah, we eventually learned that the Master Org was friends with Cole's parents, and then we later learn he actually killed Cole's parents. And so you kind of see this struggle with Cole of like, should I enact vengeance and honor for my parents by killing this guy, or do I be a Power Ranger and just defend this city from his terror. It's like, it's really cool to watch. That was one of the things I really liked about this season was that. So then eventually they fight this guy named Zen Aku, who's like this big like ancient evil who wears like a wolf mask. They fight him for like a really long time, like he's a really cool villain. But then they eventually learn he's a guy named Merrick, who is like, he was like one of the most ancient power, he was like a thing called the Ancient Warriors. Well, eventually they defeat Zen Aku and he becomes the Lunar Wolf Ranger. And of course starts helping them, as they usually end up doing. Because, you know, at first he was like a bad guy. So yeah, Merrick is really cool. I always thought, like, I just like the Lunar Wolf Ranger. Like, that was really cool the way they did his character. So yeah, and in this season has two things about it. Number one, this is the 10th anniversary of Power Rangers. And number two, this is, I'm pretty sure, is the last season produced by Saban. Because actually after this, they sold the franchise to Disney, which I'll talk more about once I get to the next season's review. And, yeah, so for the 10th, first I'm going to talk about one other thing, then we'll get to the 10th anniversary special. They actually have a Power Rangers, Wild Force and a Power Rangers Time Force crossover, because they usually do that. But this one is very special in that it finishes a lot of plots in Time Force that weren't really resolved in Time Force. So I find this one to be definitely the best of the crossovers, just because, like, smart the way they did that. They just finished everything off. So yeah, anyway, back to the 10th anniversary special, they did Forever Red, where they gathered all the Red Rangers from all the seasons, and they went and did a final battle against the Machine Empire from Power Rangers Zeo. And it's just so great because Bulk and Skull actually come back, Jason comes back, you get Tommy, you get TJ, you get Andros, you get Leo, Evan the Lightspeed Rescue. You get everyone back. Wes from Time Force, you even get the Quantum Ranger comes for that one, which I also thought was kind of cool. So yeah, like they just have this big old battle. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite episodes of Power Rangers like ever. Forever Red is amazing. And if you don't watch any of it, at least watch Forever Red, because that episode's just awesome. That's another reason why it's Wild Force is one of my favorite Power Ranger seasons, because it's just got a lot of great episodes. So I mean, yeah, again, I highly recommend Power Rangers Wild Force. I'm not going to spoil the ending, of course. But again, this Red Ranger rips his shirt off. I think he's the last one to do that, but yeah, that happens. So yeah, again, this is one of the best Power Ranger seasons. I highly recommend it. Again, it's all on Netflix. If you have Netflix, you should get Netflix. If you don't have it, not a sponsor, just Netflix is pretty good. So, get up, Caleb, even though you didn't finish Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I did not. I will later.
So until next time, I'm Daniel.
And I'm Caleb.
This has been Wolfpack Attack. Rear Wild Force Access! Woo! Wild Force! Red! Well, if you've watched Power Rangers Wild Force and you want to talk about it, tell me in the comments if you want!
I want you to.
So until next time, bye!
Goodbye.
Attack on Titan.